Hi there everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another deck list for Final Fantasy TCG. Now this is a bit of an odd one when it comes to a deck list that I provided, because I'm actually not going to try and show you guys a deck that I think you should play necessarily, but it's a deck that I'm actually trying to build and I would really like some feedback on. And I think that because there's a card that came out in the Wrath vs Knights deck that I absolutely love, and I spoke about it in my FFTCG FanFesta video before FanFesta, and it's Kefka. I think this Kefka's really good, and I really want to find a reason to run it. Now, I saw a really interesting online deck profile from Japan that ran Mono Earth and used Kefka with like the various prishes and things like that, and I thought that was really cool. But I want to try and go in a different direction slightly, and I want to try and incorporate Earth, Water, and Fusoya, because I think that between Noctis, Kefka, Fusoya, and the various tools at your disposal, I think your removal suite can be absolutely incredible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the core idea that I have and tell you the issues that I'm having with the build, and like maybe get a bit of advice on. Well, I mean, it sounds silly really because I'm normally the person that gives the advice, but I actually really think that this could be going somewhere, but there's some little nuances that I'm sure aren't quite correct, and I'd like to know what you guys think. So if you're interested in the Earth Water Kefka build that I've decided to give the title You'll Float To, as a massive fan of it, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Of course, don't forget to check out all of my social media links in the description box below, including my Facebook, my Twitter, my Discord, all sorts of different links for that, my Twitch channel, which I'll leave the different schedule, or the times in which I stream on the right hand side here, so if you guys want to come and check out any of the streams that I do, then you're more than welcome. And of course, don't forget about the giveaway that's going on currently for the 3 FFTCG FanFesta Cactuars that's going on at the moment. I'm sure you guys will be very, very excited to look into that. And don't forget to obviously check the link in the description box if you want to enter that as well. So as you can see here by way of the fabulous ffdex.com, I massively encourage you guys to always check their website out, because their streamlining for their deck list is absolutely invaluable to anyone who plays FFTCG. But the basic core of the deck is basically removal, and lots of it. So with water, you've got your fairly generic Viking, Layla, and that kind of stuff, and Porum, because summons are a big part of this deck. But because we're running Fusoya, which is the Opus 2 light card that allows us to deal damage to things by taking damage ourselves, you can actually run Lena in here, because Ephemeral Summoner becomes a viable target, because we've got lots of water summons that are worth running in here. And we've actually got 21 EX bursts in the deck in total, outside, like within, you know, the confines of the deck as well. So you've got plenty of wiggle room as well. I've put 2 Merlweb in, because we have 3 Fusoya, and Merlweb allows you to draw 2 cards and discard a card, so it allows you to get rid of dead Fusoyas and things like that. But I'm not sure that 2 Merlweb is enough to counterbalance the 3 light backups that are in the deck, because light backups are really awkward to run. So I've got Bran and Gladiator in here, and I've also... This is a tech play that I've done before, and it's actually worked out very nicely for me in Earth, Water, Fusoya decks, and it's to run a singular copy of this Dark Knight. Now, this Dark Knight, when it enters the field, you choose a forward you control, it gains 1,000 power for every point of damage you've received. Not only is it Earth CP that I can search for using Bran, which is really valuable, but it also can make for a really good combat trick with Gladiator. And now I found that it works actually surprisingly well, and it gives Gladiator a use outside of just resurrecting Vikings. The actual problem I have with this deck generally is there are so many cards that I want to fit into it, it's not even funny. But you've also got Kefka, who is the primary reason that I've built this deck, who will take out a forward you control and a forward your opponent controls at the same time whenever he attacks. But the main reason I like Kefka is for his second ability, because all he has to be doing is sitting there and he's generating advantage for you. Whenever a character your opponent controls is put into the break zone, you may pay 1 and then draw a card. And I'll come to like why I think that's really relevant, and there's loads of other cards I think are really cool there's interactions with this card as well. Like Heretical Knight Garland I think fits really well with Kefka, because that also has the same contingency that Kefka does, but it makes him a 3 CP 8k that has the potential to board wipe your opponent, and if you're drawing cards a lot of Kefka, you suddenly have a way to spend that CP on a one-sided board wipe in Garland. But he hasn't made it into the deck as of yet. And then you've got Vanille, who is a really good target for Kefka whenever he attacks. And so you can remove a Hecatonka from your deck in order to resurrect her. Like, this is a play that's been done since the dawn of FFTCG, because they're both Opus 1 cards. But with the Hecaton itself, I went with Opus 1 Hecatonka because I discovered the problem I had with this deck is to run Opus 4 Hecatonka. All of my forwards want to be a lot bigger than they are, because a lot of them are 7,000 power, which is great for Carbuncle because it means that Carbuncle is going to boost things to 9k quite frequently. Not so great for Opus 4 Hecatonka that wants things to be doing damage to each other because I'm just not strong enough to do it. So that's a little bit in the deck that I'm not sure about. So that's something I encourage you guys to comment below. Let me know what you think of that. Singular Ardyn. We all know I hate Ardyn. I think he's a terrible card. But I think in the context alongside the three Kefkas, I thought that having him and Noctis also left room open for a Regis that I couldn't find room for because there's just not enough space in this deck. But Ardyn can't be broken. So therefore, Kefka breaks your forward and their forward. If you have an Ardyn out, that means that Kefka just breaks your opponent's guys when he attacks, and then draws a card for the trouble, which is pretty crazy. And then Ardyn obviously is a threat. So when he's there, your opponent does have to deal with him, and Famfrit's not going to be too big of a problem for you because you're swarming the board, hopefully more than they are, because you've got Ephemeral Summoner, Porum, Viking, Dark Knight, Vanille, Layla, Lena targets. There's loads of things that you can sacrifice and not worry about. Noctis, I just think, is fantastic in any deck that runs Fusoya. If you can just go, like, for the same reason that Cecil used to be in Opus 1, you just go, Fusoya, I take a point of damage, maybe get an EX burst out of it, hit your guy for 7k, and then hit your other guy for 7k with Noctis. It's just a really strong combo, and then it fits very nicely with the removal theme of the deck. And then Cecil, I thought, was just a good card. Like, Noctis and Cecil just go in Earth decks. They're just good cards, generally speaking. And I thought that, I only went with 2 purely because of the amount of room I'm trying to fit into this deck. You can see the problem I'm having. Like, the idea is here. I'm struggling to kind of flesh it out to the point where I'd be really happy with it. This deck could be wombo combo rubbish for all I know, but having seen that Kefka does work in Japan gives me hope to think that he could work in other contexts as well. As for the summons themselves, I thought a single copy of Cuchulainn is really good because it means that I don't have to run things like Helicarnassus and things like that, because taking everybody's abilities away is really useful and you draw a card. And then we also have Porum and then Lena Porum, so we have a bit of the toolboxy element to it, so we can always return the Kuchu if we need to. Same goes for Carbuncle. I figured that because Dark Knight 7k, Noctis is 7k, Vanille 7k, Kefka 7k, and Lena 7k, Carbuncle just works on all of them, and a single copy of Carbuncle did me some damage in Nationals, and I've now felt the sting of Carbuncle, and now I'd like to be able to inflict that sting back. And then Famfrit and Kuchu are Fusoya's best targets alongside Ephemeral Summoner. Famfrit is just a silly water card. We all know it's a silly water card. It works very well with everything we have in this deck, and even if you have a Kefka out, it means you don't have to attack in order to draw the card. It means that Famfrit is basically just a 1 CP card because of the 1 CP you put into Kefka. And then Kuchu is also an amazing card because it draws a card and it will compound the amount of damage that Fusoya can deal, as well as Noctis and things like that. So, I think the idea is there. The problems I have with the deck are as follows. I want to run more Earth backups because I think mine and Minfilia Shantotto isn't enough. I think Regis would fit very well into this deck, particularly if Ardyn stays, but I don't know what I can take out for it. The Gladiator Dark Knight thing could go, in all fairness, but the only reason that I've kept that in there is mainly because it means that Bran has a search target outside of Viking, and it means that I can colour fix with Bran because it's an Earth standard unit that I can then discard for CP. So it means that Bran can then generate Earth CP in a way. I'd like to put another way of draw drop in there, whether that be a third Melwib, or I did even consider something like a Pew Pew or Moogle and then 3 CP Garnet, because once she's come in and done her job, she tends to be sacrificial lamb anyway, so she'd work really well with Kefka. And I feel that my forwards aren't quite strong enough. I feel like I want some more power behind my forwards in there. So this is all conjecture, Because in practicality, it could be that, you know, the amount of removal we have in the deck is enough for the forwards to push through. But I was looking at something like Cloud of Darkness to fit in there over maybe some of the other forwards in the deck. And, you know, Vanille being there is really cute with Kefka, but it means having to run Hecaton, which probably isn't the best summon in the game at the moment, because if you're breaking a backup, you need to be breaking a backup for a purpose. And that's not what that's in this deck for, in all honesty. And 2 CP Hecaton Care just doesn't... It would work better if the forwards were stronger. So maybe there's a way to kind of manipulate it in a way that makes it so that the power level matches the amount of removal that I'm trying to fit into the deck, and then I'm able to push through with power as well as smaller forwards as well. So that's going to be it for this video. It's actually quite a short video for an FFTCG deck actually, but to be honest, I wanted to showcase a deck idea that I had more than the deck profile itself, because I genuinely think that Kefka is a very strong card, and I think it's very exploitable, and I'd like to see the card explored more. If you have any ideas for Kefka outside of this build or Mono Earth, like we've seen Mono Earth do quite well, I'd like to think it can work very well in Earth Water, but I'd love to hear from you guys if there's any other decks that you think that he would work well in, because quite frankly, I just want an excuse to run Kefka. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below, or drop me a message on my Facebook or Twitter or any of my social media links. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications, as YouTube's algorithms have made it so that that little bell actually means a lot more than you guys think it does. So I would appreciate it if you would just do that for me, and then it would be lovely to hear from you guys. I'll be at Euros this weekend, obviously doing the commentary for the event, so if I won't be streaming this weekend, unfortunately, at least not on my own channel. So if you wanted to come and check that out, then definitely go and check out Square Enix's official Twitch channel, and you'll be able to see me on there. So thanks again, guys, and hopefully I shall see you all soon. Take care!